Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So recently, I've been watching the TV series on Netflix, Lost in Space, and I've been pretty much binge watching it, and I came across this rather interesting vehicle that they call the Chariot, and a beautiful little creation or replica of it has been produced in Space Engineers by Hell Rats, and I have to say, it is a lovely bit of work. So this is quite a small creation, but we'll go around it, have a look at some of the detail, and more importantly, just have a look at the concept itself. Now, the main concept is the actual rover that mans or can carry 6 personnel, and then the tanker unit on the back. Now, the tanker unit is actually just a giant storage device in this case. It's also got itself some thrusters in here and the timer block itself, so you can disconnect and reconnect the actual cup links. But what I quite like in the detailing of the tanker area that we'll start at is how he's added these cut down blocks just to create this basic sort of ladder effect. Next to the ladder, of course, we have got these smaller storage areas that don't actually have any function, but you can get the concept that is trying to design into them. And as they wrap around onto the top, you can see we have the connector, so we can dock another ship or even use this as a point to actually pick up. Now, what's quite cool here about the tanker as well is he's mounted it with parachutes along the top, so the parachutes could actually be used to rescue this device if it was dropped out of an aircraft or fell off a large cliff. Now, at the back we have ourselves the camera that works perfectly as a form of reversing sensor. Now, either side you can see he's created these lovely little brake light pads on either side, and you can see how the armor wraps around and creates these really cool wheel arches. And to create a little bit of effects, mainly at night, and so you can actually view the wheels as they move over the terrain, there's a light also hidden away in the wheel arch. A lot of detail has really gone into replicating this trailer. Now, going on to the actual Chariot itself, there's some really cool features that have been replicated. Now, the first is the 4 spotlight design at the front. So you can see he's created this sort of effect with the spotlights, and then also used some angled interior lights and some interior lights in the center, so you get that cool, I thought it was a quite dominating look. It really looked like this thing held itself out on the road, even though some assembly was required. So the only thing about this particular creation that I'm not too much a fan of, if I actually spawn my character on, is the Chariot actually has wing doors that open up above. So let's press this button, and in this case, this is what he's done so he can make it a little bit more functional. You can see he's got these little doors that open quite quickly and close quite quickly as well. So if we actually go into this seat here, we enter into the actual command area. So let's just switch back to my spectator camera and we can have a look around here. So you've got the 2 seats up at the front, you've got speakers either side, you've got the rear seats, and then you've got the seats right in the back there. And this is great just for the pure purpose that you can actually carry 6 people in a very, very compact, beautiful little package. But just look how he's sloped the windows and created that cockpit design, as well as the spotlights that have been placed on the roof that won't be too functional in Space Engineers, but they're there for the added amount of detail. So if we switch back to our first person perspective, you can see the detailing that we've actually gone into in the cockpit here. So you can see we've got a detailed interior hull layout, so we can see if part of the ship's damaged. You've got the time, we've got ourselves the layout of various items stored within the craft, we've got the audio detector up there, we've got the speed as we increase and stop, as well as high beam, low beam lights as they turn on and off. That's quite cool. So if we actually go into that menu, and we've driven away from where the spectator camera was actually at, we can turn, oh no, I didn't put the parking brake on, we rolled down the hill a little bit. You can actually see we can turn the various lights on and off. So we've got the big spotlights, we've got the spotlights on the roof, and these are obviously great for exploring into various different areas. So let's just actually take this for a little bit of a drive in a secondary camera. We'll turn off our HUD and we'll go into 9, so you can see the sort of traction we've got. I've changed the friction a little bit of the wheels, I lowered the power, so in this case we might need to get the power of the wheels a little bit higher so we can actually get up this slope a little bit quicker. There we go. I adjusted the power just because I was moving it around. It was going a little bit too fast for camera-based perspective, so we'll zoom out a little bit further and we can see just how maneuverable this vehicle is. And carrying that trailer, you've got to remember in consideration that it is quite a heavy block compared to the front, since the main part of the front is number 1 hollow, as also it's got the glass effect. So we'll go back into first person perspective and we'll give this thing a little bit of a test run. But it has got a lot of speed and it is quite mobile. But what's also great is it has quite a wide sort of ground pressure on the ground, so it means that if I come into a corner too fast, it tends not to actually flip. Just look how stable it is on the ground as well with that trailer in tow. We can also detach the trailer, so if I just pop out for a second, you can see how it ejects us actually out the vehicle. I didn't put my parking brake on again, oh no! Okay, so we now have to do a detach of the trailer on the move. So 1 to detach. Okay, so that should have detached the trailer. Activates the light and pops the actual sensor off, and we'll pop the door back open and we'll head out in the Chariot. So we could use that as like a temporary mobile base if we wanted to in terms of Space Engineers, and then we could just drive away. And the actual rover itself without the trailer is extremely maneuverable, really nice to drive, and you can really avoid various dangerous terrain. So I thought this would just be a cool creation to look at, and if you're a fan of the series like me, or you're just enjoying watching it, you like to build or you like to have a look at other people's creations in sort of relation to the film or the series that you're watching at the moment, and then sometimes when the series is over or you see a specific thing from the series, then you have a go at building it yourself as well. So it's nice to see some members of the Space Engineers community actually having a go at doing various Lost in Space type builds. Anyway, let's thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.